When the world first saw Freida Pinto on the big screen, many believed she was an overnight sensation, a sudden face of global cinema who appeared as if destiny had simply opened its doors for her. But what most people never saw was the quiet determination of a young girl growing up in Mumbai, carrying dreams far bigger than her surroundings, daring to imagine herself on stages and screens she had never physically seen, yet somehow spiritually believed she belonged to, and that belief became the invisible force that shaped her destiny. Long before the cameras ever found her, because success is never born in the spotlight, it is born in silent rooms filled with doubt, persistence, rejection, and an unshakable inner voice that refuses to accept limitation as final truth. Long before fame introduced her to international headlines, she was simply a student at St. Xavier's College, balancing academics with a growing curiosity about performance, culture, and storytelling, unaware that life was preparing her for a role that would not just change her career, but redefine how the world viewed Indian actors in global cinema. And that defining moment arrived when she stepped into the audition room for Slumdog Millionaire, a film directed by Danny Boyle, where thousands auditioned and very few were chosen, and in that room stood a woman with no prior film experience, no powerful industry connections, and no guarantee of success. Yet she carried something far more powerful than credentials. She carried authenticity, vulnerability, and emotional truth, and sometimes that is what separates the chosen from the overlooked. When Slumdog Millionaire released in 2008, it was not just a film, it became a cultural phenomenon. Sweeping awards, winning multiple Oscars, and suddenly the world knew her name. But what made her journey remarkable was not just the fame, it was how she handled it, because many actors are defined by their breakthrough role, yet she refused to be confined by one identity, one accent, or one narrative. She understood that visibility is not the same as legacy, and from the very beginning, she chose to build something deeper than applause. As red carpets replaced classrooms and international premieres replaced quiet Mumbai evenings, she walked through global stages with humility, representing not just herself but millions of young dreamers who had been told that Hollywood was not built for them, and in doing so she became more than an actress. She became a symbol of possibility, proving that background does not dictate ceiling, that accent does not determine intelligence, and that cultural identity is strength, not limitation. After her debut success, she stepped into projects like Rise of the Planet of the Apes, Immortals, and Myral, deliberately choosing roles that stretched her range across genres and continents, refusing to be typecast into stereotypical portrayals, understanding that true power in Hollywood is not about visibility alone but about control over narrative. And every role she selected carried intention, whether it was drama, fantasy, or socially conscious storytelling. She consistently demonstrated that growth requires risk, and comfort zones are the silent killers of potential. Yet behind the glamorous images and international recognition was a woman navigating an industry that often struggles with diversity, an industry that labels, categorizes, and boxes talent based on appearance and origin, and instead of shrinking under that pressure, she expanded, speaking openly about representation, fairness, and equality, using her platform not just for personal advancement but for collective progress, reminding the world that influence is responsibility and fame. Without purpose fades quickly, but purpose transforms careers into movements. Her journey also reflects resilience in the face of rejection, because even after global recognition, auditions did not automatically become easy. Doors did not magically stay open forever, and she has openly acknowledged that sustaining a career requires constant reinvention, constant humility, and constant work. And this truth is often hidden from audiences who only see premieres and interviews. Not the self-doubt that visits even the most accomplished performers, yet she never allowed doubt to silence ambition. Instead, she treated every setback as refinement, every closed door as redirection rather than defeat. Beyond acting, she embraced activism and humanitarian causes, becoming associated with organizations like We Do It Together, advocating for women's representation in media, because she understood that true empowerment is not symbolic, it is structural, and changing narratives requires more than starring in films. It requires participating in conversations that shape the industry's future, and in doing so, she positioned herself not merely as a participant in Hollywood, but as a contributor to its evolution. Her personal life also reflects balance as she navigated marriage, motherhood, and career with a grounded approach, understanding that success is hollow if it costs inner peace. And this balance is perhaps one of her most powerful lessons, that ambition and fulfillment are not enemies. They can coexist when guided by clarity of values, and in an era where fame often demands constant exposure, she has maintained a sense of privacy and authenticity that protects her humanity beyond celebrity status. What makes her story so compelling is not just that she made it, but that she redefined what making it looks like. She did not abandon her roots to gain acceptance. She did not dilute her identity to fit global standards. Instead, she walked into global spaces as herself, unapologetically Indian, unapologetically ambitious, unapologetically intelligent, and that quiet confidence reshaped perceptions more effectively than any speech ever could. Her journey teaches that timing matters, but preparation matters more. That opportunities may appear suddenly, but only those prepared can sustain them. And she was prepared long before fame arrived, prepared by education, discipline, and an inner belief system that refused to let rejection define her. And this is the deeper message hidden within her success: that dreams are not accidents, they are built slowly through consistent effort, invisible sacrifices, and unwavering self-belief. Today, when aspiring actors across the world look at her path, they see more than a glamorous career. They see proof that industries can be entered without legacy surnames, that global barriers can be crossed without abandoning authenticity. And that representation is not charity, it is earned through undeniable talent and resilience. And her name continues to echo not just because of one film, but because of the way she has sustained her presence with dignity, intelligence, and strategic choices that reflect long-term vision rather than short-term fame. Her story reminds us that the world may categorize you, underestimate you, or reduce you to a headline, but the narrative of your life is still yours to write, and the courage to claim that authorship is what transforms ordinary beginnings into extraordinary journeys. And if there is one defining lesson in her evolution from a Mumbai student to a global icon, it is that courage is louder than fear, authenticity is stronger than stereotype, and persistence will always outlast doubt. And that is why her journey continues to inspire. Not because it was easy, but because it was intentional, and intention, when combined with relentless belief, becomes unstoppable force. As her global recognition continued to expand, Freida Pinto began stepping into a new phase of her career, one that was less about proving she belonged and more about defining what belonging meant on her own terms, because the true evolution of an artist does not happen when they are applauded. It happens when they begin choosing projects that reflect their inner convictions rather than external expectations. And this transition marked a powerful shift in her journey, transforming her from a breakout star into a conscious creator who understood that longevity in the entertainment industry requires not only talent but vision. After the global success of Slumdog Millionaire, many doors opened, but not every open door leads to growth, and she demonstrated remarkable awareness by selecting roles that challenged stereotypes rather than reinforcing them. Appearing in films like Knight of Cups and Love, Sonia, the latter being particularly significant because it tackled the harsh realities of human trafficking, a subject far removed from glamorous red carpets yet deeply aligned with her desire to participate in meaningful storytelling, and through such choices, she made it clear that her career would not revolve solely around commercial appeal, but around impact. Because influence without depth fades quickly, but purpose gives fame durability. In Love, Sonia, her involvement symbolized more than a performance. It represented courage, the courage to engage with uncomfortable truths and to amplify stories that society often avoids, and this willingness to step into difficult narratives revealed a dimension of her artistry that many mainstream audiences had not yet fully recognized, proving that her capabilities extended far beyond romantic roles or visually striking performances. She was willing to carry emotional weight, to immerse herself in layered characters, and to bring authenticity to complex social issues which elevated her from celebrity to storyteller. As Hollywood gradually began confronting its own issues of representation and diversity, her presence became increasingly symbolic, because she stood at the intersection of cultures, bridging Eastern heritage with Western platforms, embodying the evolving face of global cinema in an era where audiences demanded authenticity rather than caricature.